now.
Yeah. All right, hey,
Look at that.
we're live. We haven't been on a live together in a minute. Well,
been
I
a
guess
while.
in terms of on the green screen, we
Yeah.
were just on a live at 3 in the morning last weekend.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a big fan of doing that.
let's
Okay.
keep the severe weather threats if we can in the future to the the daytime if we can. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Hope, does the sound okay? Double check that for us. We are having some technical difficulties. Sounds
Hope,
good.
does the sound sound good?
Sounds good. I hope the sound sounds good. All right, Michael, what's going on? What do we have going on here?
Well, a number of things. First and foremost, IU has a new basketball coach.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I'm
excited about
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm excited. Secondly, we have 70-mile-per-hour winds, lightning, and a foot of snow falling in northwestern Iowa. This storm system is going to be the one responsible for bringing the threat of severe weather further east here tonight. But look at this. These are some lightning strikes up here in northwestern Iowa. Cloud to ground strikes. Like, these are actual like bolts of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably 2-inch-per-hour snowfall rates. So what's the DBZ right there in western Iowa? Yeah, 30 DBZs. That's a heavy snow there. And this stretches from northwestern Iowa out through southeastern Nebraska down into north central Kansas, where blizzard warnings really go for a large chunk here. High wind warnings, red flag warnings. I mean, you name it, we've got all kinds of crazy weather going on.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's just wild. Just a big severe weather, a big strong storm system here in March. Kind of remarkable to see, really.
It is, and something interesting that we found down here, where all of these high wind warnings and red flag warnings are, massive amounts of dust in this area moving through with this storm system, and it's very dry across the southwest plains. So it might actually be a little hazy in some areas today.
Did you toss in the dust thing or no?
I didn't toss in the
okay.
dust thing.
That's
I'll
okay.
see if
I'm
I
just
can
curious.
find it later. Actually, the sun's up, so we might even be able to see some of it on
Visible satellite.
on visible satellite. Oh, that's the wrong one. Go up here.
So we're toying around here in Clarity right now. While you guys are kind of watching, share it with a friend.
Yeah.
All right,
look.
tag a friend, repost, all the things. Like it, love it, hate it, laugh at it. I don't know. Do what you do.
Look at all this. Is all this kind of this brown tan
yeah,
color that you see
put that
across
into motion.
eastern Missouri. We've got look at that dust. We're gonna have dust moving in
That's
here.
crazy. Look at all that right there. And that's the upper level winds. That's honestly, this is the nose of the lower level jet stream, as in the upper level jet stream too. As this gets in over Indiana later, this is what's going to be the trigger mechanism for thunderstorms. What I'm interested in, Brett, is that the backside of the cloud deck here is is close. So there may be some sunshine to allow for the instability to build. The reason why you guys are seeing the slide through of colors is we're going from infrared to visible satellite as the sun comes up. So as you see that sliding over, that's the sun rising, and we're switching from infrared to actual visible. So that's why that that happens.
Yeah, and Michael, I'm going to be honest, I've never had to deal with dust before in terms of severe weather threat. Do you think that would suppress anything at all? I don't know. Does that block the energy at all?
radiation,
Solar radiation? I don't know.
I'm
I
gonna
wouldn't think so because they're so fine, but
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think you could probably look right now and see if any instabilities. See if any instabilities building yet in Missouri, northern Arkansas area as that nose works in. But this is a look at the outlook today. We've got a few of you watching. We'll take questions in just a moment. This is the risk for severe weather today. The entire state's under a slight risk of severe weather, with an enhanced risk just back here on the state line. This orange area is the potential for where we could see a miniature outbreak of tornadoes. Some of them could be strong.
yeah. And we were just talking about this before we hopped on. Maybe this orange area could be expanded further southeast, maybe along and kind of northwest of the I-70 corridor down towards Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think if you go to the tornado threat part of this outlook from from the Storm Prediction Center, you can see the yellow if you zoom in just a little bit, Brett. The yellow where we have these black dashed lines, that's where we notate the potential for strong tornadoes. I think it needs to come east to Indianapolis, probably upwards to probably the Kokomo area right here, and then kind of down, perhaps swinging back west here. I wouldn't be shocked to see this extend east a little bit, and that's just based on some of the high resolution computer model guidance. And the other thing that has my attention is, as this continues to move east, the low-level jet stream actually fires up further east with this threat. So
Yeah.
I'm interested in what that could do. Now, you certainly have a tornado threat in northern Illinois near the area of low pressure, near the warm front. Classic northern Illinois tornado risk for sure. My concern is that can come east as the lower level jet fires later.
Yeah, and that's relatively common to have kind of two areas too with these types of strong low pressure systems, one near the warm front and then a secondary one that's going to be a little bit closer to the main frontal boundary and a little bit higher instability further southeast. But this is the setup, guys. This is 19Z. What's 19Z? 3 p.m.?
Yeah.
3 p.m. or so? Yeah, I know I've got a little feedback there behind me. But so again, strong low pressure system, another 990 low, Michael. We've had 3 really, really strong low pressure systems in a row. And that's part of the reason that we've had so much wind, that we're kicking up all of this dust. If we go through here, so this is 3 p.m. This is by the time we work out towards about 4, 5, and 6 p.m. You can start to see storms firing off. And so this is by about 5:30 to 6 p.m. We've got probably our warm front supercells perhaps developing here near the actual low pressure system, guys. That could produce, again, a couple of stronger tornadoes. And then we're starting to we've got maybe some scattered activity out ahead that we'll need to keep an eye on, but the main activity here by 6 p.m. beginning to fire off across western parts of Indiana. So that's 6 p.m. This is as we work towards 7. By this time, Michael, we're getting a pretty well-defined line of storms developing along the front, but you can also see some individual cells, which has my attention because that typically will increase the risk for them to rotate.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit and we can kind of take a look at the individual cell-like structure of that. So this is tonight at 7 p.m. And again, what Brett's talking about is some of these cells here along the state line that may be individually structured and kind of on their own. Right here is the area of low pressure. So the warm front is kind of out through here, kind of up and over the top. And then right through here, where these lines come down, that's your cold front right there. So obviously you've got snow on the backside of this. A drastic cutoff in moisture. In fact, it's going to be dramatically different feeling tomorrow as this front comes through. So.
And we could actually have some snow showers mix in on the backside, not expecting any accumulations out of that, maybe up by Chicago.
Yep.
We will take a look at that as well. This is as we work towards about 8 o'clock, and it's probably game on for the Indianapolis metro
Coming
area.
closer to Indy, will you? Zoom
Yeah.
in a little bit. So this is a look here into Indianapolis tonight. Let's get that tilt going, don't we, here? Up here in, see, this is Lafayette. There we go. Just coming in on the west side there, there's Carmel, there's downtown Indy. kind of the New Whiteland area. New Whiteland is no stranger here to tornadoes over the last couple years.
No, and you can almost see the hooks, Michael, on this latest run.
Yeah, yeah. And this is valid at 8 o'clock?
Yep, this is 8 o'clock
8 p.m.
Eastern.
So I think we're talking 6 p.m. state line, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 right over the area. So a 6 to 10 p.m. threat seems to be a pretty good indicator of severe weather tonight. There's a look there at 9 o'clock. It's skirting east. I think damaging winds and tornadoes are going to be the primary threat. These actually may even be storms that don't have a considerable amount of thunder or lightning.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
energy.
instability.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of instability. In fact, it's only going to be like 60-something degrees. So it is rare to get this type of a setup with it really not being that warm.
Yeah.
But there's enough instability because of how powerful the system is. The air loft is a lot colder than normal.
Yep.
And so you tend to get more rising air when it's warm at the surface and colder aloft. And so in this particular case, we have a decent amount of instability even though the temperatures aren't that warm, and the sun would only exacerbate that if we can get some of that to come out this morning.
Yep. Hope, what do we have? Questions? Any comments, concerns, complaints?
No, we have a lot of good comments.
Okay.
Saying thank you for both of you being on here.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much answered most of these right now through
Okay.
timing and biggest hazards through Indiana.
Okay. So, guys, just so you're aware, we are putting out these products on a daily basis in terms of more of a customized product to you through Clarity. So you can go to bamwx.com, top right-hand corner, you can do a free trial if you want, or we may even be able to show a code here. Look at that code behind me. You can scan that code and get Clarity. We've sent out actual information to cell phones and your devices about all this stuff. What we have right now pulled up on the map is our significant tornado parameter index based off of our latest modeling. And again, where these higher numbers are that Brett is clicking on, the darker blues and some of the light yellows showing up, indication of where tornadoes can certainly have an enhanced or elevated risk here at developing. Brett, I would be curious to see the composite radar with updraft helicity.
Yeah, let's look.
See if we can take a look at the very bottom one right there. There it is. So yeah, look at that.
There's one right there.
So these here, and bring that tilt kind of more flat a little bit. There we go. These ones here that have this line, these are what we call helicity tracks. These are storms that have a very strong updraft that are rotating, and they leave this. That means this storm has rotated this entire time based on the weather model.
It's a pretty decent track.
That's
there.
a decent track. Indications of some of these having the potential to be organized for a long period of time. The model's never going to hit exactly where it's going to happen. The model's good for ideas. That's the idea with a weather model, is it's a tool. But these helicity swaths, go down here south a little bit. Do we see any down there?
I didn't see any more. Let
Okay.
me go back one frame to make sure we didn't miss any.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so
it
there's-
looks like it's just the main one up
Up
there,
there to
which
the
there's not
northwest.
a lot of instability, so I'm not super shocked. We
Sure.
don't see a bunch.
Sure.
These aren't perfect,
Right.
but they.
Yeah, it's not this isn't a classic tornado outbreak in terms
Sure.
of 50 tornadoes, but 10 to 15 tornadoes, sure, I think can certainly
Yeah,
happen.
it's possible.
yeah.
And I do think, Michael, with that, real quick, I want to look at that low-level jet.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Because I'm interested about the wind threat as well,
Yep.
especially with some of that drier air. So this is surface to 1 kilometer. So we've got that dust and that drier air moving in. So, low-level jet here, as this is moving through,
That's sheer.
that's sheer.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, that's
Yeah.
a heck of a lot of sheer.
It's a lot of sheer. Yeah.
And then
low
let's
cape,
see.
which high sheer, lower cape, dew points around 60. That's a tornado recipe.
Yeah, it is.
Generally.
So here's the low-level jet. So what's that say, Michael? 54 knots?
54 to 60 knots. That orange is the 60 knot. So the nose of that, go back to one frame. The nose of that, Max, is where I would be interested in. The best lift is going to be found right through here. All right, kind of the nose of the jet streak. And if you go forward one frame, which is why I think the SPC could come east with their risk, because you're missing a lot of jet action that you need up here. Now you have the warm front up
The
here,
warm front helps.
just a little bit different, but over here, These storms, as they approach tonight, between 8 and 9 o'clock, I wouldn't be surprised if they see a little bit of an uptick in intensity because the low-level jet is firing up. This is winds at about 5,000 feet, and they're gusting to about 70 miles per hour. So it won't take much to have a thunderstorm mix those winds down to the surface and allow this line of storms to maintain its intensity, which is why we have the slight risk all the way into western Ohio right now.
Yeah, I'm, for areas further east that there's still a tornado risk, but that don't maybe have as high of a tornado risk across southeast Indiana, I think the wind could very much be a big issue in terms of damaging wind.
Yep.
We saw a lot of that last week with storm systems not quite as strong, but a similar type of storm in terms of intensity and in terms of the drier air and the strong winds that it's bleeding into the system. And so we had, I think it was like 500 wind reports on Friday. So I am concerned about the wind. That I don't want to miss that threat there because straight line winds could be just as big of a threat. And we've got spring kicking up, so probably outdoor events this evening. Practices, track meets, you name it.
Yep.
So something to keep in mind.
Let's go real quick. Why don't you turn this to a forecast snow parameter and take us out to the Central Plains real quick just to look at how much snow we're going to get because there certainly could be a lot of it. This really, really neat interactive weather modeling platform is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Stay tuned for more on that.
Yeah, you can create your own domains and zoom in and out and use multiple different models. And
This is insane.
yeah, so this is snow forecast here. Zoom out just a little bit so we can see where we're at. Flatten the map for me too.
Yeah, I can go to the. There we go.
There we go. So this is the accumulated potential snow here in eastern Nebraska, over a foot. And this is why. And what's interesting is you have to throw in 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with this much snow. You're not going to be able to travel here. There's a large section of the country where travel, it ain't going to happen. It's not even going to be a thing. You're completely stranded. But
I'm gonna look at the wind gusts here too because
yeah,
I'm just out of curiosity. This is
this
evening.
is 8 to 13 inches of snow is what that is based on the latest run of the model. And then here are your wind gusts as this is happening, 60 miles per hour, right? Go down here into where the red is, that's 70 mile per hour wind down here, 65 to 70, southeastern Nebraska, northern Kansas, with a foot of snow. That is not normal.
No.
So-
You're going to have
That's gonna be nasty.
You're going to have major power outages probably out there. Obviously, we could have potentially some power outages here with severe weather. So I do want to real quick remind everyone with our friends at Centerpoint, we're working on this 811 dig safety recognition as we go throughout the spring. And so keep in mind, strong winds, can cause damage to fencing, other structures. Straight line winds and tornadoes can lead to gas meters being damaged by falling debris. And so be sure if you're going out doing any yard work after the storms pass, use that free 811 service available in any state. There's no need to take any risk with safety, whether you're dealing with snow or tornadoes or damaging winds, whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to get that out there for 811 dig. And Michael, you were showing all the alerts coming through on your phone.
Well, that's what I was trying to do is these are the alerts that come from Clarity. I don't know if the camera can focus
It's
in
a
on
little
it.
blurry.
But-
It's not on autofocus, so
Okay.
it doesn't get mad at us moving around.
But this is, I'm getting alerts now for visibility to be less than a half a mile. I'm getting alerts for telling me there's going to be a blizzard. So it's interesting. It is getting,
Yeah, I added those locations to your account because you're logged in here. Surprise.
I was going to say, I don't remember this, and now here they are.
Surprise.
Go to Blizzard because I just got the alerts, and go to current. Actually, I want to show you guys real quick, like what does Clarity do? Well, it alerts me, obviously. One, there's lightning within 10 miles of the location because I just got an alert. There's a blizzard warning. Look at all these alerts. I mean,
I can't see it.
Oh, it's covered
cut
up.
off. But
Well, there's a ton of alerts for this particular location. There's the blizzard warning right there, and that comes to my device, gives me all that information. The coolest thing, though, I think, is the Nowcast, which comes to my device, and if you click on that, this is from an actual human. this was sent to my phone. You can click on that map and it pulls up, you know, a nowcast of just actually what's going on, the current situation there. So if you don't have clarity, free trial right now, top left hand corner of the screen, try it out. And go check it out, man. It's free.
Yeah, and the really
Try
cool thing, especially if you all follow us on LinkedIn. If you don't, go connect with us. Go follow us on LinkedIn because we've been putting out some of these tips and articles on LinkedIn about really the benefit of having a nowcast like this. Because you know you're not going to anywhere else. You're not going to be able to get an image you can zoom in on and say, oh wow, my county is in that red dashed area that I'm going to have 1 inch per hour snow over the next few hours. And it's probably even a bigger deal when you talk about severe weather and really nailing down the timing. And I know John on Friday night was timing out precise supercells Friday night and Saturday and when tornadoes could possibly hit.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal for anyone making business decisions and managing people, events, and you name it.
Let's go, Brett. Let's wrap this up with just a timing. Let's
Sure.
talk about the timing, and then let's. What we'll do is we'll probably come back live here again this afternoon. But let's talk about the timing. I'll go west to east here for you. Again, we're talking about the potential for some tornadoes tonight. Some of them could be strong tornadoes, yeah, it could be a rowdy night. I would expect a tornado watch to come out tonight, so be ready for that. This is as we start the evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, we see supercell-like storms, individual cell-like thunderstorms popping up across the Chicago metro area. That would actually be the 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then we go further down to the south, we can see these cellular-like thunderstorms popping up. Again, 7 p.m. down there through Terre Haute, Vigo County, down into Vincennes, Knox County area, and even through possibly as far south as Evansville. As we go to 8 o'clock, we'll watch the threat move east, okay, become a little bit more organized, and you can see a broken line. We call this a QLCS, or a somewhat linear convective system. This is 8 o'clock on the doorstep here of western Indianapolis metro area, down through Bloomington, Morgan County, and then you see 9 o'clock, it's skirting east. All right, you can see, again, I think as the storms hit this particular location, they could see a little bit of a boost in intensity as the the low-level jet kicks in. Something to keep an eye on there. Don't count it out if you're east of the city. This is at 10 o'clock. We're getting into the Indiana-Ohio state line. And by 11 o'clock, we should start to see some relaxation of this, I would think. 11 to midnight,
Yeah,
the
there
line
it is.
should start to what we kind of call collapse and outrun its dynamics, and the sunshine goes down, and you know all the things, we lose the energy, and that's the end of the threat. On the backside, you can see we're wrapping in snow here on the backside, and that may be something to talk about tomorrow, is backside snow threats.
Yeah, let's look at this is the older run.
This
but
is
we'll kind
the
of,
run from the overnight, yeah. So this is getting into tomorrow morning, Chicago metro area. You've got snow coming down, 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. This is probably some decently heavy snow. And then as you move it east, you can see that northern Indiana, southern Michigan, dealing with probably going to see some snow around here, especially along and north of I-70.
Yeah, look at
tomorrow.
that.
Yeah, maybe some snow squally squall.
Ooh, squally squall.
Squally squall action. Look at that. Some darker returns. Maybe some bursts of snow coming in. So
Have to bring back snow ski one more time.
snow ski.
Somebody asked for a storm ski earlier in the comments.
You know, so it's funny. I was thinking about this. I like to play around a little bit in the winter. When we start talking about tornadoes, I try to
Get serious.
get a little more serious. You know, so maybe we'll have to see.
We'll see. Dusky maybe. Dusty.
Let's show the severe risk map one last time for where this is probably going to occur, and then we'll get running here. And then if you have any questions, hope that I can answer, I will. Again, this orange area is the enhanced risk area for stronger tornadoes. That's on the state line of Indiana and Illinois. I wouldn't be shocked if this is tugged east a little bit here in the noon update, just based on what I'm seeing in the modeling. So we'll watch that. Nonetheless, I think you should look for a tornado watch tonight. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that across the area. and a few of these storms that are going to be capable of producing tornadoes from 6 to 10 p.m. from west to east across the state. So, what do we have? Any questions?
Biggest one is just how far east do you think that the tornado would go?
I think the state line of Indiana and Ohio is the furthest east it could possibly go. Right now, would be my guess.
Yeah, because we don't have a lot of instability to deal with to begin with, and by the time we get into the overnight, we'll be really losing
Running out.
any of that. So as it gets to eastern Indiana, probably more like western Ohio, it should start to collapse.
Brett has tossed up the Storm Cancer 5K run on May 17th in Franklin, Indiana. It's $30 to walk, run, sprint, jog, crawl, whatever it is that you do. Come and support a great cause, childhood brain cancer research. Last year, we donated over $40,000 to the foundation. We need runners and we need sponsors.
Yeah.
So we want you to scan this, scan it, join, come out and join. I'll be running, Vince will be running. I don't know if any other people are running from here. Someone may, I'm sure.
I think you said you were going to run Hope.
Hope's
right?
running.
Hope's running. I
Yeah,
bet
so
Michaela
we've got
will run.
our team's going to run. We're going to be out for this great cause. Share this with a friend, tag a friend. We're looking for businesses to sponsor, people to sponsor, and people to run. All right.
Will
so
you throw the link in the chat too, Hope, if you get a chance?
throw the link in the chat.
But yeah, you can scan the QR code. And if you do want to sponsor, you can tap the link and you can literally do it right on the page. I think the lowest option is like $250, which all goes directly to the foundation
Yep.
and the research into brain cancer for children. And, you get your name out there too
Yep.
with the event. And come out and meet us. We'd love to see a lot of you.
Come meet us. Come say hi. Any last minute questions before we wrap it up?
Not really.
All right.
So let's plan. Do we want to plan a live for, let's say, like 4-ish o'clock?
Yeah, we'll have the new data in around then, and we'll plan. We should start to see things developing too. So
4 p.m. or so, give or take. We'll be on for another live update as storms should probably start entering the state line around 6. So
yep.
thanks
sounds
for
good.
watching.
Yep. We'll see you then. Thanks,
ya.
guys.